Hell yeah, we're going. Welcome to a brand new episode of Drag the Lake. I'm your host, Andy Malafarina. With me, as always, the amazing, the beautiful new hoodie-ified. Is that a new hoodie, buddy?
No, actually, I've had this for when I originally bought this, it fit barely, and then I didn't fit for a long
Ooh,
time.
damn, the fat man's best day ever
And
is
now
when the tight shirt fits. Oh,
I'm doing
that's
great,
a
Andy,
that's a
obviously.
beautiful day in any fat man's history. And you're a reform fat. You're
Yeah,
not really that fat. I mean, you got gross loose skin that, it makes it hard for you to love you.
still pretty
But
fat.
are you fat? How
I'm
much do
still
you
pretty
weigh?
I'm bouncing up into 280s. I hope it's muscle, but I don't think it's muscle.
God, I hate when people say my weight and then that face goes all over them. That's happened to me a lot. Like I was listening to some podcast and someone was like their rock bottom was my day to day.
But that's the thing is yours is muscle. Mine is like I don't know, man. Like I still feel like I have great endurance. I feel good at the gym. I feel good when I'm training and stuff like that. But I'm not necessarily in a. I don't feel like I'm a non-fat quite yet.
No,
But I'm
I hear
less
I
fat.
hear you. I hear you on that. No, I have a similar thing going on because it's like I was joking with someone because I'm throwing up heavy weights. Like if you saw on my Instagram, I'm able to uh I'm able to fucking deadlift 405. And actually yesterday we were doing hang power cleans, which is the one where you kind of like start in a deadlift position and then you throw it up, come down in the quarter squat, and then like push it up and shit. Or no, wait, I was catching it. Yeah. That's right. With the push up, I was confusing those with like hang power cleans, whatever. Because hang power clean, you catch it on like the
I
fucking
would
front.
I wouldn't know the difference anyway.
Wait, what was I doing? Hang power clean is, yeah, that's where you more just like throw it up. You kind of like muscle it up, and it's like you have it above your head. But then the power clean is where you like throw it up in a front squat like this. You look like a fucking just a
Yeah,
fancy boy.
that one
And
looks like you can't ever do it right where it doesn't hurt the fuck out of your wrists.
here's the well, okay. Do you want to know this? What the secret is?
Yeah.
It hurts your fucking wrists.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Like there's no secret.
That's
Just
what,
like,
like,
ow, ow,
dude.
ow, 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 ow,
Yeah, dude. That's the
ow,
thing.
ow, 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 ow.
There's certain things I'm learning is like once you go, like when you go into them, you just have to accept, like, no, that just hurts.
It just hurts, yeah.
But that's
That's
like
why they
part of
tape
it.
their wrists. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like part. Like I don't know if you can see on here, but like I got the calluses
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
and it just hurts. But also things worth doing hurt. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we're
Yeah.
trying to do this podcast and we put ourselves out there, and
Hurts.
sometimes some just no good Nick in the comments. Drake, you son of a bitch, Maverick, whatever the fuck your name is, you
Hasn't been
son.
around. Hasn't been around. Shh.
No, no, dude, it's deep inside there. I know I should be better than this, but I want him dead. But no, anyway, but no, for real, like anything worth doing hurts.
Right.
Anything worth doing has some pain associated with it. So there's always like, I always say this about on the flip side of it. You know, when people want to try to do the fun thing and they
Yeah.
never want to take the responsibility of it. So they'll like go to the store. They'll go to the store and then they'll buy like, oh, I got the low fat Chips Ahoy. And you're like, stop, just buy
Yeah.
them or don't buy them.
Yeah,
Get
but I
Chips
just
Ahoy
avoid.
or just don't eat them. It's like, don't people always try to like cut corners with these things. And it's like, the way to do it. So going back to the original thing, it's like, if you're going to do anything worth doing, it's going to hurt. So just
Right.
let it fucking hurt and that'll make you a better person. So where did we start on that?
You were talking about your new PRs, I think. Like
Oh,
you're always getting gains.
yeah. But, yeah, no, but that's the whole thing with like the fucking, the weightlifting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You gotta let it hurt at times.
Yeah, I think basically you having more muscle than I do, like actual muscle mass. I feel good, like I feel fine. It's not like anything like that, but I'm definitely not a non-fat as of yet, but I'm a less fat to this point. But long answer short, I'm doing great, Andy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, honestly. Doing pretty good, man. I've been real introspective, thinking about life. No, I've been feeling good this week. You want to know why I've been feeling real good this week?
Why is that?
I've been listening to a lot of the Chariot, and I just, for one reason or another, whenever I don't know what it is 100%, but whenever I listen to the Chariot or I watch like live footage of them, and
Yeah.
I just zone out and I let myself fall into that shit. For anyone who doesn't listen, Chariot, in my opinion, they're one of the greatest like hardcore bands to ever do it. Just
Yeah.
pure chaos, just a pure, you know, I regret every day never going to see them live. I
Oh
knew
man,
about
you
them for
missed
a
out.
while when they were a bit what?
I said, oh man, you missed out.
Yeah, I knew them for a while when they were a band. I just was never deep into them enough to like actually pay for a ticket. But now that, or that's not even true. I remember there, I'll pull up the video. We don't have to actually play it or anything because I don't want, you know, we're posting this on the Panties channel. I want to protect that channel more than I give a fuck about my own channel. It's a self-destructive behavior. But what's the song? Evan Perks. You know that song?
I don't know a lot of their songs by the names, but they have the Evan Perks.
Yeah, but it's I remember I watched this video when I was
Oh,
younger.
oh, oh! This is wait, really? This off of this one? Oh, off of lot. Oh,
It's the
long.
opening
Wow,
song of Long Live.
that's crazy. Because that's
But yeah,
cause I'm thinking
just
about when you said that. I was like, I'm trying to think of the older. I thought like I was like I thought I'm pretty sure I know most of the older songs and stuff like that. But this is off of their newer stuff.
no,
Newish.
this is like in the middle of their career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just see, I remember being younger, seeing this chaos and just being like, this makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you go, that's why when I was talking about going to see like Knock Loose and all those rap groups and stuff, where just like the overly corporate stuff, where you know, and $13 beers and things like that. I was like, I don't know. This is awful. I mean, Knock Loose was amazing. Code Orange was amazing. I'll even give another shout out to the Suicide Boys. I thought their ability to perform and a bunch of the other guys, but just like the whole structure of it. But like that, like when I listen to the Chariot, like I can relate to it because I feel like my wife always makes like my wife always makes a joke like when I come in, she calls me Hurricane Andy because I'm just kind of like all I've real like bull in a china shop energy, but I still somehow like manage to get my shit done to a degree. I'm always, you know, I'm a guy who's always looking for help because I fucking need it, but I always seem to like get my shit done. And I just when I listen to the Chariot, they kind of correlates to that, and I can relate to it on a bigger sphere where it's like they're chaotic, but they get the job done. Where you hear a good song, they got good riffs, and they give you a fucking full figured show.
Yeah.
They give you like a BBW of a show.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's what I loved about. So one of the first, I think I saw Norma Jean before I saw the Chariot, but I've been a fan, and they're connected because of the lead singer leaving,
yeah,
Norma Jean going to start the Chariot, and I think the first time I saw the Chariot was at the State Theater in downtown St. Pete, and it was like it was all of that. Like it was everything that like that because that was the thing I thought of too. One thing that I kind of thought was flattering when I was still a young lad, and I was and me and my buddy, my best friend at the time, were going around to shows and stuff like that, and I took him to see. We went to see Guttermouth at the State Theater, and
nice.
he's like, I go. This is where I go to shows all the time. Like this is one of the main places. And he's like, I've never seen. He's like that was intense. Like that was crazy. And he always thought of them as like a goofy band. He's like, but the crowd was fucking nuts. The
Yeah.
Chariot was very similar because they're crawling up the fucking scaffolding. They're like hanging upside like the bass player. I'm not even talking about the fucking singer. I'm talking about people that should be playing fucking instruments are climbing things. To me, I love the showmanship of it, but I also love the dedication of, like you said, I love the not safe. I don't want to feel safe at a show. I kind
Mm-hmm.
of liked when I was a younger kid and I was like scared of all these fucking adults slamming into each other and just punching the shit out of each other and shit like that. But yeah, I related to that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of scenario, but like with those with fucking Chariot, it's like it is fucking to me. It's that without a doubt one of the greatest hardcore bands to do it. And
Oh, without it,
or what do you whatever you want to call them, metal, hardcore,
I
post
think hardcore.
hardcore,
I
pre
think the
hardcore.
way the way they present themselves, I think hardcore is like the best. the
It's
best
just
categorization of it.
sludgy fucking, and that the song I think it's I think their songs have multiple names, by the way. The same songs are on one of them. The Unsung EP to me is that, in my opinion, should be put up there like as one of the greatest hardcore releases of all time. The Unsung
What's it
EP,
called?
the Unsung EP. They also have another one called Everything is Alive, Everything is Breathing, Nothing is
Yeah.
Nothing is Decaying. I can't remember the fuck. It's like one of those fucking names, but that's the one where they did it in all one take. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
the, the live kind of version of it. They like that is what it was like to see them live. Like it was fucking crazy. Just imagine that, and then a bunch of people just enjoying the fuck out of that, and them. It feels like I'm relating with the band when they're doing that. That's what I want to do. I want to fucking climb off shit, and jump, and fucking like scream as loud as I can into a microphone and like shit like that. Like it's cool. It kind of makes you feel like a part of the band.
Yeah, just it's I like it too because so to kind of address something you said earlier and tie it into like what I'm kind of transition into is what you were saying is like they had that intensity, but it never seemed scary because they always had like a silliness to them. Like a perfect example, I was watching, there's this like if you're a fan of the Chariot, there's this like famous video in that sphere where they were doing a show and it was getting crazy, and like the show was in this venue that was like in the back of a coffee shop or something, and they like busted open the door into the coffee shop, and I guess one of the band members, he's like, which I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is annoying as hell. If
Yeah.
you're just trying to be a coffee shop, and there's this guy who's just like, I'm fucking hardcore, I'm playing my guitar in a coffee shop. But then he goes back into the venue, and then the guy running the coffee shop, who he clearly was like, I don't know about these boys, but it was probably like his nephew, the dishwasher, was like, nah, they're a great band. You gotta have them.
Yeah. You
And
gotta
then
have them, Paul.
you gotta have them, Paul. They're really doing something nifty. And he's like, I don't know. This is your last chance, Jebediah. And so when they do all that, they knock over this stand of pears, and the dude's like, all right, that's the last straw, darn tootin'. And then he comes in, he's like, stop the show. And then the lead singer, he's able to be like, kind of be like, this sucks, but he's kind of like making jokes to the guy. He's like, is it an issue with the pears? We can go get you more pears. He goes to the crowd. He's like, does anyone in the crowd have pears? They were small pears. If you have a normal size, I think it's like a 1-to-2 pear ratio. So, cause like, and that kind of like correlates to the fact that like I've realized this recently where I think a lot of people take on art, certain types of art, and they go, there's like a Family Guy joke about it that I hear all the time on like fucking TikToks and shit, where something happens and you hear the guy go, well, this is going to be my personality for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people look at art and then they go, I like this. Oh, this is me. And then they just do that. When in actuality, because I was thinking about it where, like, with a lot, like, I forget if we talked about it or whatever. I'm sure we've brought this up before, where a lot of these a lot of these members, and I was talking to Tyler Langleys about it the other day, where a lot like there's obviously some hardcore bands who are as scary as their music is.
Yeah.
But there's also a plethora of these hardcore bands that are just good old sweet boys. Like I think the lead singer of the Chariot's probably like that. He seems like
Oh
a
yeah.
good old sweet boy. You and me are the same way. We like angry ass music, but we have the propensity to be good old sweet boys from time to time. You know
Absolutely.
what
Yeah.
I mean? We're the sweetest of boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but that's when I realized I was like, oh yeah, all this shit just is supposed to like all this art and shit. You're not just supposed to like fucking belly flop into the deep end. It's supposed to be like an extension of yourself. So that's why you can have these bands that are just this like chaotic hurricane of fucking intensity.
Yeah.
But when the music's over, they're just calm, normal people.
I like the dedication.
And that's
Absolutely.
that really comes through with the Chariot to sort of tie it all together, why they're so enjoyable and they're so approachable and fun. But what were you saying? I was talking over you.
Well, no, I was just saying it's just a true dedication. It's like they ultimately dedicate themselves to their performance, and they're like that's like I said, that's the relatable part of it. Like it's cool, but it's also like it's the way we feel when we hear your music too. Like it's cool to know that it's not, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't, it's not phony. They seem truly genuine on stage. Like,
Yeah.
or as anything except for like the fear that I have though is like the kind of thing like you've seen the clips. Have you seen the clip of the it's forever, it's been forever or whatever, but it's the Dillinger Escape Plan playing at like the Virgin
Yeah, where he
Mega
runs over
store.
the crowd.
Yeah, like shit like that. Like that's the kind of shit that like I wanted to see Dillinger Escape Plan. I think the first time I saw them was at a Warp Tour, which kind of sucks. I don't want to see them during the daytime. You know what I mean? Like I want to see them at night. I want it to be scary. I want it to be kind of scary feeling and dangerous. Like not in a setting like where I think I'm gonna get killed, but like I kind of want to feel like I'm gonna get my head kicked in. Like
A little bit.
is that asking too much?
No, and then the guy who
I
kicks
don't
your
want
head,
it to happen.
the guy who kicks your head and will pick you up and dust you off.
Yeah, you know what I'm
This is
saying? Like
super. God, this style of music needs to come back
this
because
is what I want.
all the footage of the music that I like is grainy as shit. Jesus.
But
Okay,
shows
this
it
is a
needs to
little
come
bit
back.
better.
Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
But yeah, just like I don't even need to know. Obviously, we've talked about Dillinger a shitload. I don't even need to know what this band sounds like. But just when I see that, I go, I want to
Fucking
be
love it.
there. I want to be
And that's
there.
where he starts. That's where he starts to perform. He doesn't start singing before he does it. He runs across with the microphone in his hand and he's fucking screaming the lyrics to, and it's, and look, I would gladly take a fucking a Vans to the fucking dome
Oh yeah.
just to have that, to be the guy like, yeah, that was the first forehead he stepped on. Do you know what I mean? Like
You're
because
like
that's,
I still got the grill
I still
design
got
of
it
the
right here.
Vans in my head. I got it tattooed.
I got a tattooed here.
I got the indent tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah, dude, like it would be, because that's the thing is it got so it's been covered by like total, like most punk bands with gray hair are singing about how it's in my day we used to bleed at shows. I don't need to get hurt. I just want to feel like I could get hurt. Like that's all I'm asking is I want that, the feeling of like if I'm gonna go see I don't even know if there's still a fucking band anymore, but a band like the Nerve Agents made me feel like that would be a band. Have you ever heard of the Nerve Agents?
I've heard the name. Can I say this real quick? Don't forget about the
Yeah,
nerve agents, but I have a thought that I know is going to leave my head. But
go
I
for it.
think the reason people like you and me like that kind of, there's a difference between that's pure chaos. And then there's two things that there's two things that happen at shows that look very similar, but they're very different. There's
Okay.
chaos and then there's violence. And
Yes.
you
Yeah.
and me, because
Chaos.
there's a lot of dudes that are like mad at the world and they want to get revenge on it. So they go to shows to cause violence. You and me have this like, I don't know, is kinetic energy the right? We just have this like chaos. I feel like you and me have this like chaotic energy, and guys who like the Chariot, Dillinger Escape Plan, they're not going to a show to like fuck people up. They're going to a show to like go wild and dispose of the chaos. So I think
To
that's a big
express
thing. There's shows you go for chaos and there's shows you go for violence. And I'm more into chaos than violence.
you're expressing your artistic violent tendencies. Like it's kind of like this, it's that release of like that energy that you have. It's the closest I'll ever accept myself to doing an interpretive dance is
That
going
is
to a
kind
show
of
and
that
just
is kind
swinging
of
my,
white dude interpretive dance.
totally, like because there's no real like, unless you're actually practicing the steps, and if you are, don't go, don't even show your face ever again.
Oh,
No,
oh, dude, that's a
no.
really good thing to address.
Yeah,
If you're practicing your hardcore dancing, that's crazy.
yeah,
Please talk to a therapist. You
yeah.
have way bigger issues. And what you're going to unleash on that show will be dangerous for everyone around you.
You're gonna hurt somebody because of your little choreographed bullshit. And look, and like I said, it's an amorphous feeling. You can't. It's really kind of hard to explain when you're in a circle pit compared to like a hardcore pit. When you're into one of those chaotic kind of thing where like everything kind of feels like the pit or the floor is shaking, like shit like that. I want
Yeah.
that fucking shit, dude. And there's been only like a handful of times I've felt that at shows, and and like it's weird. I don't feel like I'm in danger, but I feel like Like I don't know. It just feels like you said the chaotic energy. I think is the best way to explain it.
Dude,
Uh,
going back to the fucking the hardcore or the slam, not even slam, just yeah, the hardcore dancing. I remember, dude, I remember being in high school, going to a one of my first a couple, it was probably like my third or fourth hardcore show. And I remember seeing a dude because like I was always used to like punk shows and stuff where it would be like a push pit or so or a
Yeah.
circle pit or shit like that. I never understood this like spaced out shit where there's like four dudes doing their thing. And I was like, I remember I was like confused and I thought it was stupid as shit. Originally. Now
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot more, but I remember this was a big moment in high school where I saw a dude go into the pit, like walk into the pit, do his moves, stop, and walk out. And I go, oh shit, they're doing moves. Like
Yeah.
they have moves.
Yeah.
It's not like a I'm just gonna flail my body. I go, oh, they have specific moves that they and I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. They're hardcoring the yard. You know what I mean? Like they're stomping the pit.
Yo, for real,
They're
dude.
like, and then they just
We're
walk away.
hardcore ring the yard. We're hardcore ring the yard.
Yeah, I think they like if it's the closest. Like again, that's what our dance battles are, is essentially the that kind of thing. But dude, it doesn't have to get to that. Just go there for the you're there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You're there for the wrong reasons. But to go back to the nerve agents real quick, the
I was
nerve
gonna say,
agent,
don't yeah. What was the band Nerve Agents?
it's like it's such a high energy, like chaotic feel. The every time I've seen them perform, it had that same kind of thing where he's rolling around on stage, the lead singer's rolling around everywhere, everybody's fucking, you know, banging their heads and having a great time. Yeah, look at that. This is what I want. Like I want the whole how the whole crowd's kind of moving that way.
But that doesn't look scary.
But no, there's been I think the original time that I saw them is it was a compilation DVD. I can't fucking remember the goddamn record label. I want to say it was an AP, maybe. It might have been an AP release or something like that. But
Alternative press.
yeah, I think it might have been something like that, a hardcore best of or something like that. But it was or punk. I can't remember what they even put them in the genre or whatever. But he was it was some fest and he was going crazy. It was a tiny stage, but kept jumping from side to side. And he looked almost exactly like Dane Cook. It was crazy. The lead singer of the Nerve Agents looked exactly like Dane Cook. I fucking wish I could remember that release, but they
Yo, he
always,
kind of does. I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring up live footage to like he kind of does.
but they're always in these kind of venues where it's like, is that a venue or is that
It's
a
like,
fucking
welcome to the BK Lounge.
but he's like swinging the mic around and shit like that in the audience's face, swinging his arms around.
Yeah. Oh,
People are
and
jumping off and kicking people in the face.
this is why stuff like this too, like a show like this is why
He
I
unplugged the
remember
mic.
what?
He unplugged the mic.
Yeah, dude. If the mic's plugged in, it's plugged in. Who cares?
Yeah.
Uh, but shit like this is why. Like I remember when Fall Out Boy came out and people were going on and on about how like they throw their guitars, just play the song, and
Yeah.
you're like, I always wanted to contact those people and go, hey guys, I'm at the show. I've heard the song.
Right.
I I wanna party.
Yeah.
Like I don't want
Let's go.
I don't want this. I'm listening to. I got into this because I like punk rock. Now, obviously, Fall Out Boy's not punk rock, but back in the day, they
Right.
were a crazier band than they are now. Now they're a little more fucking corporate. They sound like every song sounds like it could be a Target commercial. Um,
That's true. Yeah.
sorry, they've been putting out new
No,
stuff.
it's true.
I'm not happy about it. I had a bit of hope when I heard live drums again, but
I
I'm
feel like
not.
their downfall. What was that thing? The one more like thanks for the memory. Thanks for the memories. That's the song, right?
Yeah. See, here's the thing
I feel
about
like that
thanks for
was
the
their peak. That was the after that they just kept trying to write that song over and over again. Like really theatrical, big
Yeah,
time.
Here's the thing about Thanks for the Memories. I will be straight up. It is a good song. It is
Yeah.
very catchy. But if you are into Fall Out Boy for Take This to Your Grave and From Under the Cork Tree, when you hear Thanks for the Memories, that's when it hits you. You go, I'm not getting the boys I started out with ever again.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
that's what I'm
not.
saying. Like that was almost like their Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? That was where they hit where it's like yeah, everybody knows the song, but like not for the right reasons, guys.
Sure,
Because it's in a Target commercial.
I would still give Thanks for the Memories more props because it's a much more listenable song. But I understand conceptually what you're saying.
Yeah. 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 Not only in comparison. Like as
Sorry,
far as like their beats.
you're conversing with a Fall Out Boy, Mark. I'm gonna be difficult like this.
You said the names of their albums, and I was like, shit, I don't know one name of one Fallout Boy.
You don't still listen to them on a monthly basis? That's weird.
Is one of them called Thanks for the Memories? Because maybe I do know one.
That's the name of the song. That's off Infinity on High.
Ah, shit. Yep, didn't know one. So
No, but honestly though, for not knowing Fall Out Boy, you nailed it on the head because after Infinity on High was like pretty good. Let me bring up the Infinity on High.
Because before that, they used it feels like once you kind of lose the distortion in the song, once it becomes like just part of the band, like you lose the guitar. Like to me, in a good in a okay, listen to me. A good rock band, a good rock band has solid tone in their guitar and bass, a distinctive tone in their guitar and bass. If you're and that's something that you can identify in one of the artists that are playing something like, but in like a Pink song. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you don't
Oh,
necessarily go like, oh, the guitar tone sounds great. It just sounds like guitar. It blends in
I
with
hear what you're
everything else.
saying. Like the Dead Kennedys,
They lose their
which for the love
identity.
of God, let's not spend 15 minutes on where what year anyone lost their dog tag.
Hold on, I can find it. I know it can.
Pat, put the phone down. No, like the Dead Kennedys, you can identify, you can hear their guitar from a mile away because they're the only they're the only fucking punk band with that much reverb on it or like that much echo. But
They're the
like
only four guys that have never fucking surfed a day in their life to use surf guitar.
but no, that's a really good point. Like the Dead Kennedys, they have a very distinctive guitar sound.
Yeah.
And I know you're not a fan, but they just popped in my head. Minor Threat has a distinctive guitar sound. I'm trying to
Bad
think like
Religion.
Green Day, Bad Religion. They all have a distinct fucking Alkaline Trio. All right, I'm just naming bands.
With no effects, it's the bass tone. With Bouncing Souls, it's a lot of times it's the bass, like stuff like that. There's a distinctive thing that like stands out that helps with the identity, like the audio fingerprint of that band. Like yes,
Yeah.
they sound a lot like them, but they're a little bit different right here. You know what I mean? Like there's something, and to me, they always had really great distortion on the guitars,
Fall Out
and
Boy.
yeah, and really smooth fucking tone for the bass. Like and like I to me it was and that goes from producer to producer, I'm sure after times. But like I said, certain producers, higher end producers, maybe once you're getting a little bit more of that cheese, they just kind of go like, yeah, sounds good. Let's go. Like get to the chorus.
No,
I don't know how much they're actually
no, I
is
think what
that.
happens is like you get to okay, so like I was watching the Shaq documentary, which I think is on HBO. But if you guys haven't seen it, it's 3 parts, 3 hours. It's fucking great. Shaq's the man. But he has his whole thing was he's trying not to go his whole career without getting a ring, without being on a team and getting a championship. And he was like amazing forever and then never got that ring. So he's like, finally, he's like, I gotta get that fucking ring. So they convinced Phil Jackson, he was the dude who paired up with Jordan, and they were getting all those fucking
Michael
dubs
Jordan?
together. What?
Michael Jordan?
No, Jeremy Jordan.
Jeremy Jordan.
Yeah,
Love
it
that
was
guy.
in racquetball.
Number
And
73.
and but no, so we paired up with Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was like, all right, I'll get you that ring, but you gotta stop. You gotta cut out the extra shit. You gotta stop fucking doing movies. You gotta stop doing commercials. You gotta stop rapping. We're just doing basketball. And I think it's like they tightened it up and honed it in. And I think now as I'm getting to the end of that, it's not a perfect 1-to-1, but in a similar way, like with the music, they go, all right, the sort of the way I'm comparing is like, it's like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to fucking get to the top? So here's the thing. All that artistic bullshit, we're going to have to put that aside.
Yeah.
All this are you going to try to experiment? Here's the thing. You're not. They got to smooth down the edges.
Right.
And because like, and I'm not shitting on normal people. It's just music just happen. No, when it comes to music fans, I'm not shitting on mainstream music fans because like there's shit that I like in a casual way that the hardcore fan's going to roll their eyes at me. Music just happens to be my thing. So, you know, I may be like super autistic about music, but at the end of the day, if fucking Ariana Grande's what does it for you, I'm not gonna say you're wrong per se. I'm just gonna say
it for me too.
yeah, fair enough. Whatever race she decides to fucking be.
What? Did she change?
Yeah, dude. Have you seen early pictures of Ariana Grande?
Uh-uh.
She's just slowly been trying
I
to
try to stay away from the early ones.
No, she's just been slowly transitioning. She's been doing a reverse Michael Jackson.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It's just like, just be you, Ariana. What are we doing? It's the same way as like Michael Jackson's was weird. But
yeah, but his was his was based on a lot of abuse and everything. So I'm sure hers is probably not the same.
no, she only started at Nickelodeon as a child or Disney as a child star. I'm sure nothing bad happened to her.
Yeah, every since her first words, the I think everyone but for her first words have been on film. I think officially.
Hell yeah. Also, I just want to make it clear. When she tried to transition into darker skin, that's not when I got mad.
Yeah,
it was just that is just a mirror into someone being a psycho.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway. What was I even fucking talking about? Oh
Talking-
yeah, like with like I'm not gonna fault someone for like listening to Ariana Grande or some shit like that. I'm more just saying, so it's like when these bands want to get to like a bigger level where because here's the thing at the end of the day, if you want to make a shit ton of money in the music industry, you have to appeal to the broadest audience possible and children a lot of times. So the best way to do that is to smooth out the edges and make it substantially more palatable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
So
I think you're right. I think that's a great point with the don't worry about all that artistic shit. Let's just make this like nobody, like the fucking the middle-aged housewife in the fucking minivan turning on the alternative rock station for kids doesn't give a fuck about your guitar tone. She just wants to make sure you're not cursing in front of her children.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the version of that for me. But yeah, there's certain things I do where I'm like, this isn't my main thing. I don't want the most extreme version of it. So that's like, I think, like going back to the original topic, I think the Chariot's the best. But also, if someone was like, I don't get this, I'd be like, that's fair.
yeah, I totally get that. Yeah,
I'm just saying, for me, the reason like the Chariot's been making me so happy is not to go into a whole fucking thing, but it's an hour podcast, so I will. But like with a band, like I don't know, just like like with the way social media is and stuff like that, and all this other fucking shit, and you gotta fucking do a thing, and everyone has this mindset of like fake it till you make it. So you just that, and I get it. Like that's if your goal is to like be fucking big as shit, you have to do that. But things like that, just breed inauthenticity, and it's just like and now it feels like now it's getting to a point where everything's so fake and inauthentic. Like we were talking about chat GBT and AI before we started recording and stuff like that. Everything's so fake and inauthentic now that people are accustomed to be like, oh, that's the real shit. And then when they see authentic shit, they start to spaz out and they're like, it's a fucking witch, burn them. You know what I mean? Or like they treat you like Frankenstein and run you out of town. So like just that's why I get so obsessed with certain things. That's why, and I can't go an episode without fucking touching the flag, but that's why I fucking love Gallows so much, because Gallows always came off as like a pretty authentic, real band. Like listening to the Chariot, just like I was going fucking crazy at the beginning of the week, and then I'm just sitting there watching the Chariot, listening to it, just being like, this feels right. Like this feels real. This just feels like I'm touching a fucking, like I'm experiencing a real thing right now, and it feels good. It just feels good.
nice.
Hell yeah. All right. So we didn't plan on talking that for a shitload of time. Let's actually, because we only have like 25 minutes left, and I really want to hear what you have to say about this before we go into that other fucking thing. Although that'll be a good one to end on because that's hilarious. But let's talk about this. You brought this to me, Patrick, and you're very excited about it. Let the
Yeah.
people on audio know what the fuck we're looking at.
So yeah, the I it just came out of nowhere. You were sending me stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to check my Spotify notifications, see if I got any new things. And I saw that Thrice had released "Artist in the Ambulance." I was like, oh, it must be the anniversary. It turns out it is their 20th anniversary of the "Artist in the Ambulance." Came out in 2003. But what they did was, it's not just a re-release or a remaster. They, Andy, re-recorded the Artist in the Ambulance with now a couple of the songs feature other people. And I like I said, I found a lot of information on this, but also have a couple theories. um
Okay.
but I also I wonder, I love the way it's produced because it sounds almost like we were talking about earlier. Shout out to the Chariot, the one take album. This sounds almost kind of like a live, maybe even some of them, maybe less produced, not as glossy version of the Artist in the Ambulance. And to me, it matured really nicely. But they re-recorded the entire album featuring people from bands like Chuck Reagan from Hot Water Music,
Yeah. Which
another band.
easily, I would say, easily one of the best voices in punk rock
Yeah,
ever.
for sure. And like some other people, I think another band like Curl Up and Die, and a couple other bands that I'm not super familiar with. But
Mm-hmm.
the
Wait, there's a
theory,
band called Curl Up and Die.
yeah, sounds pretty cool, right?
That's fucking amazing.
So one of the theories was almost immediately, that's what that article that you showed on the screen earlier was one of the theories I had. They must be going on tour. Um, but also the other theory I had that I double checked and was confirmed was they're pulling a Taylor Swift, Andy.
Oh, really?
Because the Artist in the Ambulance, the original release in 2003, was by Island Def Jam Music Group.
Yeah.
This one is produced by Thrice and Miscellaneous Recordings with Many Hats Distributions.
Oh, nice.
So, if you're going to listen to the Artist in the Ambulance, I can tell you from experience, a fan of the original album, you gotta fucking check out this re-release. Give them the plays. Give them the plays because
Yeah.
it matured beautifully.
Okay, so quick sidebar, you know who did that a while back?
Who's this?
Or actually no. Some 40 or Jesus, 4 Year Strong just did that because they didn't have on Enemy of the World. I think we talked about it on here. They didn't have the rights to release it on vinyl, so they just re-recorded it themselves. But also, so Real Big Fish a while ago, whoever had like the masters or the rights to a lot of their original stuff, they released a best of album, and Real Big Fish was like on social media, just had this whole campaign of letting everyone know. They were like, do not buy. This was when people
Yeah.
still like bought like CDs semi regularly. They were like, do not purchase this album. Do not stream this album. We didn't approve of it. We get no money. And I think there was something with the mixes, like the mixes were super flat and shitty or something like that.
No.
But yeah, there was like a huge, the way you're saying right now, you're like, listen to the newer artist in the ambulance. Don't listen to the old one. The Real Big Fish were like, do not listen to this record. It does not give us any money. But yeah, man, I'm all for artists sort of like taking the ball back or whatever the expression would be, because a lot of times these, and the, it's a little different for musicians. There's a lot of times where like people will get like when they're really new and they don't have a lot of weight to push around because they're no one. Their name's nothing. So they kind of take less than preferable deals, and then when they get more popular and they don't own it, they kind of get a chip on their shoulder and they get real pissy about it and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's like, what am I trying to say? I'm not saying like you're not getting fucked over to a degree, but also there is this push and pull where it's like you had nothing and they had a lot and you were sort of benefiting off their infrastructure and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of musicians who have these really fucked up deals where they can't get out of them until they finish their record, and then the studios won't put the record out, so they get kind of trapped in these shitty deals and all that stuff. I get that. It's fucking shitty, but it's not always like, I don't know, you're not always getting fucked over as you say you are. But at the same time, I've told you, I love people making money. Half the reason I want to do this podcast is because I want to brainstorm ideas and promote these genres and just help musicians make more money.
Yeah.
So if you have the money to just re-release the album and make some fucking money off of it and do what you want with your versions of the songs, I am fully behind that 1000%. I love that. I didn't realize, like earlier, I thought they because it is 20 years and a lot of bands are smart to do that. They go on a 20-year tour. They're probably going to go play all of Artists in the Ambulance. And for a band like Thrice, it's really smart because that's kind of their biggest album.
But people are gonna go like, I love the version that they played of this live. It sounded like it was subtly different. Like there's certain parts where there's a part, I think, in the song that I sent you, that there's a breakdown part that has this guitar solo. And right before the breakdown, I was like, every time I'm air drumming in the car, every time I would listen to that song, I hit the fucking snare right before, like it was like the guitar solo. I mean, that like that kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Just that solo snare. And you know what he fucking did in the re-recording, Andy? He fucking put the goddamn snare hit in that I told him to. The whole time through osmosis, somehow he figured, I don't know if that's what osmosis is or not, but it's
that the Chris Rock movie.
This Osmosis Jones, right? this is
you told him that through Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, the DVD. I gave him the special edition. I said, "Could you sign this and send it back to me? Keep the DVD though." So I just want the cover art. Could you? But no, I this is taking that 20-year, and because you're right, they are going on tour playing Artists in the Ambulance in full. But this is, I love that they are taking this to another level, and I wish more bands would do this. Like I saw when Offspring was doing their anniversary tour of Smash, and if they would have done, imagine hearing them re-record it. I think honestly, I feel like Thrice is low key flipping the fucking game. Like I know that Taylor Swift did this also, but they're showing these and I don't even know how to put it, but like bands of our generation, maybe that aren't necessarily as commercially viable anymore, a way to say like, hey man, yes, you can do that 20th anniversary tour of the album and everybody's going to come to see it because of nostalgia and because they love you, but also re-release it, make up new merch with that shit on it. You have the rights to it now. If you do have the rights to it now, fucking take the power back.
That's the thing. That's the thing is like, because bands are just like, band members are inherently artists and shit like that. So they don't think in that way. But it's like, yo, if you just get a little bit creative, re-record the album. And also too, it's like they're re-recording their most popular album, and like you said, put out some shirts and stuff like that. You have it's it's not easy. I'm not gonna act like it's just easy fucking peasy, but
they know how to do it. They were commercially successful enough that they know how to do it.
If you put in the work though, you have the ability to sort of like take the power back and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have this is the ability to, you can structure a tour. And not only this, but I was like, I bet you the fucking bands that are featured on this album are the ones that are going to be going on tour with them. And that's even smarter because now you can have them come out and say, oh, by the way, Chuck, you guys like Chuck Reagan, do you? Well, guess what? He's featured on this new album that we have. We have the vinyl for sale right over here. And then ooh, and then and that's what I'm saying is,
you got mad Canadian on that, by the way. They're like, oh, you like Chuck Reagan, do you?
Oh, you like Chuck Reagan, huh? No, I like the, like you said, I like when artists can figure out, because look, man, there's some bands from my childhood or youth or adolescence or at my lifetime that I love, and I say, yeah, you should keep doing the thing that you do. And then there's other bands that I'm like, you got to grow a little bit. Rice was an example of somebody that like they grew a little too much, and I was like, all right, take it easy. So now that they're kind of reining it back a little bit, and they're not only embracing the songs that like were not only just very popular, but this to me, Artists and the Amulets is one of the few perfect albums, start
Yeah.
to finish, is just so the fact that they re-recorded it and it, like I said, it matured. It's a little bit, it's like not, it doesn't feel as poppy, it doesn't feel as clean and polished, but it is still just as fucking good. Like, if not, some of the songs are even a little bit faster, and some of them changed, just one or two of the effects. The tone and the guitar is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
The backup, I think even the key is actually, I think it might even be a lower key than it was because maybe he has more of a range at a lower key for his voice. There's different, his voice itself has grown. I've actually listened, there was a couple, I was sitting in the car waiting for Don the other yesterday, and I was just listening. I'll listen to the new version and I'd go back and I listen to the old version and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what I thought. That's changed. This is different. Like
Yeah.
some of the things that don't stand out as much. So it's kind of cool if you're a huge Thrice fan. To me, this is like catnip. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
even if you own the album, if it's your favorite album, anything, embrace it. We're gonna go. I think they're coming around in Philly in May. So if they're not sold out, I'll probably go see that.
Nice. You know what? I was thinking about it's funny that bands are doing this now because I remember for a while a band that I thought should really do that was Metallica. Cause
Oh,
I
really?
think, yeah, there's a lot of these like metal bands from the 80s and 90s who could really benefit from, the developments in recording now. Cause
Right.
if you listen to some old Metallica, it's like it's recorded like a good punk album, but
Yeah.
they would really benefit from like modern metal producing. Like if whoever did, we talked about it a while ago, and I feel like people listening may not know this band, but we talked about the newest album from Boundaries, which is a really hard hitting, heavy fucking album.
Yeah.
Whoever produced that album, I'd love to hear them re-record a Metallica album. It would sound fucking nuts.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that not only that, because new Metallica, like they just released a song not too long ago that wasn't like, because they're going to be putting out a new album finally after fucking 80 years of not doing anything. But like it actually sounds, it sounds pretty good. Like the newer Metallica recorded, I don't know if they're trying to be something different, but you're right. If you just had those songs that you're already comfortable with a producer, re-record a couple of those albums now with one of these newer producers, that might put them in the right headspace. So when they're writing new music with this new producer, it actually makes sense. Because to me, the transition, the whatever the newest single that they put out was okay, but it's just they're like, again, they're 60-year-old dudes. Like, I kind of want them just to, why don't you go redo Master of Puppets? Let's, why don't you go shred some? Why don't you go shred some a little bit? Or how about this? If you want to turn the whole, if we're talking about flipping the polar ice caps, my friend, let me tell you about this right now. Metallica records famous Slayer albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do like cross, like that was something that Rancid and NoFX did. A couple other bands have done too,
Really?
where they do splits where they do 6 of each other's songs.
That would be sick.
That is what I'm talking about. Thrice doing uh who Taking Back Sunday songs,
Oh, that'd be
and
nuts.
then Taking Back Sunday doing Thrice songs,
Yeah, that'd be great.
right? Somebody, if that's kind of like contemporary, about like same age, around the same group, you know what I mean? Like, and then also same, I feel like they're about the same famousness, right? About Thrice maybe a little
About,
bit.
yeah, Thrice and Taking Back Sunday are definitely in like that same pocket right now.
So like something like that. I think contemporaries covering each other's albums or song, like biggest songs, stuff like that. Like, these are ways, those are ways that people can do, that bands that maybe again like aren't necessarily tearing up the charts with their newest releases
Yeah.
can like make a little bit of a profit off their older songs. You know what I mean?
No, I think so. No, yeah, this is definitely a very cool, seems like a new development in music right now of just
Yeah.
like re-recording the album, making it a little
Lift
bit,
it.
A little bit
Yes.
more interesting. Let's check out this one last thing before we get out of here. This
Okay.
was we were gonna start with this, but that Chariot talk and that thrice talk was too good. But we don't want to end the show without mentioning this. This is I don't know. I think the best way to put it is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Is
Let's
this?
just you know what, let's give them context. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
It's basically what happened, and I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw this guy tweet, some dude from a band or something. He was tweeting, he's like, yo, that band that canceled them because their singer was cheating on his girlfriend, that shit's wild. And I go, wait, what?
Yeah. What?
So apparently this band called Worst Party Ever. I can almost guarantee you they're like a Midwest emo-y type band. That's my guess. I have no clue. I have not listened to them. But yeah, they put out this tweet. They go, all future tours will be canceled and will be refunded at the point of purchase. It's important to put mental health before
Yeah.
everything and have accountability when you fuck up.
True that,
Uh,
King.
True that, King. So here, let me read the apology. I'm posting this to let people know of the harm that I've done to other people. And bro, here, this shit makes me laugh so hard because like people, and I love when people take the victim in like the most pretentious way possible because they're like, because like I feel like the way that like society is now, it's got people paranoid and convinced that everyone's fucking watching them, which honestly, you can almost understand someone thinking like that because you can just be a normal guy minding your own business, but if you make the wrong joke at the wrong time or something or other happens, like the Fresh Prince, your world's getting flipped turned upside down. But at the same time, for like what this guy did to just be like, I'm so sorry I did this to everyone. You're like, dude, that's a you thing. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I didn't. You didn't do this to me.
Yeah. Dude, the verbiage of just like, oh my God, my actions are so powerful to these people. In December, I manipulated two victims, one of which was my long-term partner in another act of lies and infidelity. Both victims, which by the way, I'm noticing right now doesn't really capitalize anything, which is a low-key telltale sign of like this is like very thought out and
Yeah.
like this is intentionally trying to add a little bit of a layer of aw shucks to it.
Yeah. This is a kind of a thing of like I wasn't aware of this, but
Yeah.
kind of thing
And
of like this was unintentional, but turns out I'm a real dickhead.
I'm just like an innocent sad boy who would
Yeah,
never
I'm just as shocked as you.
I'm just I would never do anything wrong. Well, that's like fucking the biggest aw shucks motherfucker in the world. I showed you that guy Hobo Johnson.
Uh-huh.
He's like his whole persona is just aw shucks to the 10th degree, but then you find out he's giving fucking chicks herpes on tour,
Yeah, yeah.
which is like big dickhead move. That's the
Real
least
real
all it's the least aw shucks thing you could do to a girl's pussy.
real kind of bonehead behavior, real doofus move.
I
Lucas.
manipulated the situation in my favor by still being sexually and romantically involved with both parties. So he had two girlfriends at once.
Yeah, romantically. I
And
love how
taking
sexual and romantic are not. They're like, yeah, we get it.
oh,
Romantic.
dude,
That's
this
what
is
sexual means. Like romantic is a nice way to not say sexual.
yeah.
Hey, romantic. What do you think of? Like, I bought two ladies flowers.
I enrope them in a love triangle of
I'm so.
seduction and sensuality.
I am so sorry. I had two Valentines this year.
Yes, and it was extra hard on them because I make them pay for dinner because I don't have any money.
Because nobody knows what fucking band I'm in.
Because my band is noodling on guitar over emo songs.
Yeah. By the way, all ticket sales are to be returned at point of sale. Does that mean all 12 of them? Like
all
every
night
one of them?
all 19 tickets will be refunded. Yeah, oh no. All these guys, they sold out their tour already. They're not going to be hustling hard every week to make gas money. I created
By the way, what if all of this is a fake anyway, and they just didn't sell any tickets, and they're like, "We got to cancel the tour, guys. Nobody bought any tickets. We can."
I'm gonna make
like,
yo, dude, that might be it.
dude, because I've never heard of this band, I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dickhead or anything, but it has 2.5 million views, but I think that's because of the story. I don't
It's
think
just
that's
too
necessarily.
funny not to address it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of one of those things of like, did you sell any tickets?
Wait, let's try to let's look them up real
I'm such
quick.
a bitch. I'm such a mean bitch.
Yeah, dude. They were
5,000 followers. There's no way you sold tickets to your tour.
Bro, there's comedians with like fucking 20 times their followers, and it's
Yeah,
hard
dude.
for them to sell out small comedy rooms. You
There's
guys were
no
not,
way.
you guys didn't sell out your
You fucking losers.
and also was their tour was probably like, we're going on tour. And it's like, we're playing 8 shows over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. They're coming back home in between. They're doing like comic tours. They're doing like a weekenders or something like that. They're not even like, can we stay on your couch? Also, next tour, like once I get all this sorted out, can I stay on your couch?
Because both of my girlfriends kicked me out.
Both of my girlfriends that I was romantically
um
and sexually.
I
I just want to make
manipulated
sure
this.
I fucked both of them. Okay.
It was romantically and
And
sexually involved.
sexually.
Dude, the verbiage is brutal in this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
manipulated this situation in my favor to still by still
Sexually,
being
sexually and romantically.
involved with both parties and taking advantage of their desire to love while still casually
Wow.
seeing other people. So you were fucking a bunch. That's
Yeah.
the other part of it. It's a brag where I was like, guys, I got to apologize. I was getting too much pussy.
This guy's gonna write a memoir no one's gonna read.
Yeah.
He thinks this is so fucking interesting what's happening right now. Because like there's something like there's tax fraud or something like that that's keeping somebody in the band that like they can't travel. Maybe their visa's taken up. They can't go to Canada.
They
You
got a
know?
felony and they can't cross state lines.
Yeah, like stuff like that. There's something like that. There's like a pending child abuse, situation that's happening with the drummer or some shit, allegedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's something else that's coming up that like I was fucking around on tour, when we were going out there playing to 17 people at a skate park.
I created a very toxic and yeah, dude. We were playing a free show at a skate park that a bunch of skaters happened to show up to because they didn't hear about it and they just wanted to skate. And when they saw our drums set up on their vert ramp, they were pissed.
They asked if they could play them.
I created a very toxic. One of the skateboarders fell and his board broke our drummer's bass drum.
Still haven't got reimbursed for that either, but we're not even here to talk about that. We're here to talk about my relationships.
I created a very toxic environment and caused a lot of pain and trauma to both of their lives by love bombing and trying to get them to continue seeing me. And I think love bombing,
those words.
I think love bombing is like when you just over the top, like it's just when you just like aggressively beta mail a chick.
That's what I do to my wife when I did something really stupid. I go, love you. I love you so much. Do you need anything? Can I get you anything?
See, I always thought love bombing was just at the end of sex. You just lay a bomb right on the chest.
Bam, love bomb. Sploosh.
And then the flip side of love bombing, I think, is when they get mad at you and they're too much, or they realize you're too much. Then you hit them with the, if you leave me, I'll fucking kill myself.
Yeah, that's definitely toxic.
By the way, I totally hit, like, to be funny, but I hit Steph with that sometimes. If I'm going grocery shopping, she'll be like, have fun. I'll be like, have fun. If you ever leave me, I'll kill myself. And then I shut the door. It's so funny to me, dude. It's so funny to me. I love bombing her. Within my long-term relationship with my partner of 2 years. Oh, by the way, can we stop with like, if you're in a hetero relationship, picking up the fucking goofy versions of partner? You know what I mean?
I've just say fucking wife or girlfriend, dude.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, if you want to, but like, if you've been saying wife this whole time and then fucking some half-shaved head weirdo is like, actually, it's partner. I can't manage to get my own, but it's partner if I do. You're like, no, I'll call it. You can do whatever fucking dumb shit you want to do, but I got a wife who bitches at me, not a partner who bitches at me.
Yeah, I got a fucking wife. That's what I don't even have a wife. I have a fucking wife.
I got a fuck it. I just leaned into being a fucking annoyed husband because being vulnerable is hard. I love my wife so much.
Yeah, wives are fucking lame, dude, right?
Yeah, we don't like them. That's why we stay with them. Within my long-term relationship, dude, we're only halfway through. This is so brutal. Within my long-term relationship with my partner of 2 years, I've consistently invalidated their emotions and avoided conflict by shutting down and creating a toxic environment for her. My behavior was inexcusable, and it's wrong to be such a selfish individual. It's important for me to take accountability and seek professional help to not allow this to happen again. I've constantly talked about therapy. Yeah, I need therapy because I'm so fucking horny.
What the fuck? Dude, that therapist is gonna call you a pussy and tell you to fuck yourself, dude. I guarantee it. That pussy's gonna go, that therapy's gonna go, you, sir, are a fucking pussy. 2 years. Who the fuck cares? I
Yo,
don't
for
give a
real.
shit. Dude, you can manipulate me for 2 years and like I'd be like, oh come on, stop. Like that's the
Hey.
most, yeah.
That's very nonchalant. Hey, knock it off.
Hey,
Hey,
cut it
you.
out. Yeah, it's not a big deal. 2 years.
I've
What do you
constantly talked about therapy and counseling, but have never followed through. It's important to know the damage that I've caused people and the consequences of my action. I'm incredibly sorry to my long term partner and the people involved in the situation. I'm going to focus on therapy and Oh, I thought you said battering myself.
battering
I'm
myself?
gonna beat myself up because I just love fucking people I'm not committed to and bettering myself as a human being as I've done irreparable damage to
Oh,
people that cared about me. Pat, can I ask this question?
yeah, what up?
For the band with only 5,000 followers, do you think this dude actually has money for therapy?
No way, dude. Unless his girlfriend works at his partner works at Starbucks and he gets free lira or something like that. He's gonna have to pay top dollar to hear some dickhead go, yeah, yeah, don't cheat on your girlfriend, dumbass.
Yeah,
Who the
don't
fucking
be don't be a pussy about it who snitches on
so
himself.
so two different scenarios I feel like are equally as possible in this situation. Either his partner that he cheated on was like, you're not going on tour. We're gonna work on us and
Ah!
type this apology for him and said, share this to the band's page and go like,
Dude, that's such a funny angle.
or they didn't sell any tickets and, and they had to and he had to make up some kind of story going like, I've got to work on myself, it's kind of like Dance Gavin Dance. I mean, I was in cut in a love triangle too, and anyway, bye.
Yo, you know what's so funny, by the way? I'm just looking them up. I'm curious. So we saw what their follower count was, like 5,000 followers. And
Yeah,
I'm just on YouTube to be like, all right, what do their videos get? What do their videos get? And it's all fine.
yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's
Is it
not.
worthy of a 2-page fucking apology handwritten on like legal pad that's like, and my partner and I have been in very toxic situations that I was the responsible for. I guarantee I bet his partner drinks too much. I bet I bet there's probably there, you know what I mean? Like there's flaws in this relationship. This just sounds like a young idiot releasing a what they think is a formal apology to a thing that you don't need to apologize to any of us.
Yeah.
None of, like, legitimately, even if you were toxic as fuck to those two people, you do not have to apologize or tell us a goddamn thing. And
Dude.
that's why I don't necessarily believe I don't know how legitimate
Oh,
this.
it's
I
got
think
to be.
he's trying to get. I think weirdly they're trying to like kind of like get themselves negative, positive press. Like,
Well, here's my thing. If I could play devil's
I don't know if
advocate
that makes.
and get this fucking idiots back for 2 seconds, um, no, because here's the thing. How I always what are you? You're 34, 35,
36. Keep going.
36. You're 36. I'm
I
32.
look like I'm 34 though.
I know you do. We come from a day and age where where you're just like, who gives a
Yeah, who
fuck?
fucking cares?
And I think, but here's the thing though. Ever like all the kids nowadays are fucking on edge because, dude, there's been a bunch of times where someone will come out and they're super vague about it. They'll never give the details. And this to before anyone gets fucking annoyed, if anyone who's not who doesn't fuck with us stumbles across this video, I'm not saying there's not like validity to like these chicks' accusations, but there has been proven enough times that like there's been chicks who are like fucking pissed off and they'll just be like, dude, I'll just say sexual misconduct and let people's brains go crazy.
Right, right. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's probably like, my chick's fucking insane
Yeah.
and she'll fucking like these chicks I were dating are fucking crazy and she'll put it out there, like she'll get super vague about it and put it out there and make the vibe feel like I fucking did a brat, like a mass
Manipulative,
brutal.
toxic. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll use all the vague verbiage to just put a stink on this guy. And I think because you can do that now, dude. You
Yep.
can, we've set up a system that if you want to, you can take advantage of the system
Yeah.
and just really fuck over someone you're just mad at. And so to play devil's advocate and get this guy's back, there is a chance that he's like, this crazy bitch is gonna ruin my life if I don't fucking do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but I will say this, growing up with our mindset and the world we grew up in, it is going to be fun watching what people apologize for. There's going to be a guy who's just like, I would just like make the public apology. When I left the supermarket, I put the 12 pack of soda under my cart and I forgot it was down there. I
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
mean to steal those
Yeah.
Diet Pepsis. And it's just, we're just going to sit back and go, yo, they're all fucking pussies. And this is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because it's really gonna come down to guilt, like guilty consciences, and like how you react to it. Like, what do you think? Because no matter what, this was either an overcorrection, an undersell of tickets, or just a airing of dirty laundry. It could have just been a girlfriend that's just like, you're gonna fucking apologize to fucking everyone.
Yeah. I
Everyone.
here's
Okay.
my
Me, Stacy, her sister.
here's my perspective on it. The them canceling themselves because they didn't sell enough tickets
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the funniest scenario. So that is the scenario I choose to believe.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, that has to be the reality, because otherwise it just gets sadder after that.
But I will say,
This is at least clever.
I'll say it one more time to get the dudes back a little bit. The day and age that these kids live in, like if his girl wants to, if his ex-girl wants to, she could fuck this guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he can't play his noodly fucking Midwest emo ever again.
Not gonna happen anymore. If she wants to end him, she can end him.
Yeah. Dude, but I will say this is the funniest reason to cancel yourself. It just is. It's so good. Thank God we're in our 30s and
Yeah.
we're not growing up in this day and age of these fucking weird ass kids. But yeah. All right. Good episode.
Yeah,
Pat.
we did it.
Yeah. Everyone go check out Pat shit, Baby Mermaid, all that stuff. You guys know my shit. We love you. Be about it. Peace.